What up? This is your boy DJ EFN. You might know me as a drink champ, but first and foremost, I'm a proud father. I linked up with two of my other dad homies, Manny Digital and KGB, to start the Fatherhoods podcast. Each week, we bring you insider hip-hop stories, parenting, and advice and therapy. The saying is true, it takes a village, and we humorously serve as each other's trusted counsel in figuring out how not to screw up being a good dad.
The Fatherhood Podcast. Beats, rhymes, and diapers.
Hola!
All right, my friend. Just the two of us today.
Just the two of us. He's
right.
He's on a mission today, so
He is.
catch him up later.
Our first thing I wanted to get into was actually over to you with the news about your daughter that you sent us.
Yeah. So the college news.
Yeah.
I think that's what I sent you. So she's been on this kind of roller coaster journey around like picking a college and what she wants in a college and all this stuff. So this all kind of really started last summer, so August time frame, which is a little late in the process. So she's about to enter her senior year, not having really a clue about what she wants to do college wise, like just like school type or whatever. Like it was very confusing. So we kind of just forced her to go to a few schools and visit on our trip down to Florida over the summer. So we took a road trip and just like things that were near I-95, schools that were not near I-95, we just pit stop and did like impromptu tours. One of those schools was, I won't mention it, but it's in Maryland.
Okay.
And it kind of checked some of the boxes. She was like, she liked it. She thought it was cool, but she wasn't sure yet. So fast forward, her number one school was Davidson in North Carolina.
Okay.
The percentage of acceptance there is very low. It's like 17%. And they favor in-state students over others because, that's kind of normal stuff. Anyhow, she didn't get in. She was waiting on that one to decide. And then she had a school out in Texas, Baylor, that she was looking at pretty seriously. St. John's here in New York. So she had like 5 schools that she was seriously considering. And then when Davidson came through and gave her the bad news, first and foremost, I'm thinking, all right, that sucks. Like we were all rooting for her and thinking like that was going to be.
How does she take that news?
Yeah. So just so you know, like as this process unfolds for you down the road, schools, they'll communicate with the parents, but not as much as like anything decisions wise, all that stuff is going direct to the student.
Okay.
So we didn't get a heads up. Like it was just like she got
the letters there, right? Oh, an email. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she wakes up, checks her phone that morning. I think it was like a Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. And she comes downstairs earlier than normal. And we're looking at her like, yo, is everything okay? And she looked kind of like she was crying, but after I asked her, she said she wasn't. So I believe her. And she was surprisingly very upbeat. She was like, guys, I have news. They told me I wasn't accepted. And we were like, down thinking we were going to get the waterworks.
Right.
And she was like, no, but it's okay. Like, I knew this was a possibility. And I really think I want to go to this school that I'm not going to mention in Maryland.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm questioning her a bunch, but I'm trying not to be an asshole too, because she's jumped around so much and we're kind of late in the process. I want to be sure, like, all right, are we ready to move? Like, what are we doing? Because we don't have a lot of time. And she, she gave a bunch of reasons why and whatever, and she felt sure about it. So we were like, all right, cool. So now let's get to work on figuring out what the next steps are. But she's super pumped. And like it's like 4 hours from our house, so it's not crazy far.
Right.
But that adventure, that living alone thing, in that environment, she's really looking forward to. And she's scared. Like she's like, I'm scared, but I'm excited.
Right.
So my wife is a mess.
Oh man, I'm sure.
I'm thrilled for her because I know what moving away from home for college did for me. So I'm looking forward to the growth that she's gonna experience because I know it's gonna be dramatic in a positive way and fast.
How do her younger siblings, how do they feel about this?
I so my son, he's the more like sentimental of the three.
Hmm.
So he's also like excited for her, but he's already thinking like there's a void.
Yeah.
And then my youngest, she's a little asshole. So she's like, I forget what it was. We were in some situation, and then because we're a family of five, so she made some comment like, "Oh, just gonna be the four of us now," or something like
All
that.
right.
So but I know like I'm already thinking like once we go take her to school and like drop her off, and on the drive back, like it's just gonna be us. Like
Oh man. Yeah,
I'm sure
that's
there's gonna be some tears.
yeah. Yeah. Well, at least the that 4 hours away, that's a pretty good deal for going away to school.
It's almost perfect. Like I
In
was,
case there's some shit that goes down, or just
yeah,
but you guys are missing each other. It's easy
yeah,
to
easy to jump on a Amtrak and like be here in no time.
yeah, yep.
That was like in my head even before, like years ago. I thought 4 hours away would be great because
Hmm.
it's far enough where you can't come and do laundry every week,
Yeah,
but close enough where if shit hit the fan, you could be here, quick.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so yeah, man. So I'm super excited. We're actually gonna do like a dry run soon where she and I are gonna go take public transportation to get down there
Okay.
and come back so she can feel what that is and then like have a couple conversations on campus with some of the administrators now that she's
Right.
accepted and committed. Um, and just now with this new frame of mind of like I am going to be a student here,
Hmm.
walk the campus, and that's going to be a whole different vibe.
Wow, it's a big step, man.
It's huge, bro. It's huge. I mean, I know she's ready for it though. It's just like, and we've been having a lot of like cost conversations too, because like our approach is, we can't hack like paying for your whole college
Yeah.
tuition.
Right.
So now you got to get serious about like, yo, that job you were supposed to get a year and a half ago to
Right.
help stack some chips,
Right.
you got to figure out what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So literally, like the next day, she's like reaching out to people, like taking a lot of proactive steps that she's not accustomed to doing
Hmm.
without us having to tell her anything. So she went out, started like asking people for job opportunities. She hit up her babysitting network because she does some babysitting every so often,
Right.
and she's been able to cobble together some cool opportunities that'll give her flexibility and give her some pretty serious income. So from now until time to go to school, she should rack up a good decent chunk of money that'll help float her.
Is she gonna work during school?
Yeah, that's her intention. She was like banking, like the way parents like talk to your kids because the way these kids think about college, right? Something
Yeah.
foreign to them because they've never done it, and jobs is like it doesn't make a lot of sense for somebody who's been to college, right? So she was thinking the work study
Yeah.
was gonna be like mad money,
Right.
right? And I'm like, do you know that work study is a small amount of hours every week at basically minimum wage if you're lucky?
Hmm.
And that didn't sink in until she started bringing the calculator out. Like, oh. So I get to buy Starbucks every week a
Yeah.
couple
Right.
times.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, exactly. So I think she's probably going to start out doing work study just to get, as she gets acclimated, and then she's going to branch out and do stuff. We were talking about like in the service industry or something like that, where she can have some flexibility, but she's open. She's more than open. She is interested in moving down that path. It's just a matter of finding the right opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. It's almost here.
Hmm.
Like August is gonna be here so fast, and then it's just a matter of more than anything, my wife getting acclimated.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the good news is you got the other two at home, so it's not quite I mean, there's a void, but it's not probably quite as a shocking void as if you didn't have any kids in the house at that point.
Yeah, we'll still have enough distractions and other routines to like keep us more or less normal as far as what we're accustomed to. But yeah, man, I'm like I said, man, I'm stoked for her. I think this is gonna be such a great period of time for her in her life.
Yeah.
It's gonna the maturation, especially she's a girl, so like a lot smarter than dudes usually, and like more mature. So this thing now is gonna open her up to a whole world that she's just not used to.
You think she's
And
going to get into partying and all that kind of stuff? You worry about that at all?
nah, I hope she does to some degree because she's so the opposite
Mm,
that like I want her to have some of that to mix into her academics and just like her other shit that she likes to do, which is really nothing but watch fucking TV right now.
right.
So I mean, I think eventually it'll like that'll come and become normal. My wife hit me with some shit the other day, and I'm like, man, I get the concern, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, I trust my daughter so much. I think she's super smart in her judgment, almost like way too conservative.
Hmm.
So she was like, I'm not scared about her and things that she's gonna do and decisions she's gonna make. I'm scared about somebody like roofing her drink,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
stuff like that.
Just the environment.
I'm like, she has to drink in order to have that happen, and she's not gonna drink. Like she's not one. She might have a glass of wine, maybe, but I don't even see it, bro. I can't see it. So yeah, there's shit to worry about, but like I just try to control what you can control. Like the shit I always say, and what you do at home as far as like bringing them up and trying to establish that foundation. If you think you did a good job, like that shit in my mind, we did. So that to me is sufficient. It keeps me calm.
Yeah. I think the only thing I struggle with on that end is just, I mean, I would like it if my son just never has a drink or doesn't even think like, I don't know, my wife's dad did a really good job with her of just basically scaring the shit out of her in terms of like you could be that one person that you try a drug or you do this and you know your
Hooked
life is
forever.
ruined or you get killed by it or whatever, right? And so she like scared the shit out of her. Um and so it's weird like when you have like we're old enough now where we know how to have a casual drink and it's whatever. And so, our kids see us in that light of like, oh, a drink here and there. Like my parents, do that or like, it's not a big deal. Yet they have really no idea of how it may affect them and if they're making poor decisions. So it's hard to be like, don't my son will bring it up sometimes. Like he's like, should I have drinks when I'm like, yeah. I was like, look, man,
You can skip
honestly,
that and still have a great time.
honestly, like you're better off. He's like, yeah, but you like to have a beer and stuff. I'm like, yeah, but I also wasted a lot of time. I did a lot of dumb shit, and I'd love for you not to follow, deal
Follow
with
in
that
those
as
foot.
well. Like you
Yeah.
could you could have so much more by just skipping it. But I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah. I thought about that, like how much I was drinking in college. And honestly, I don't think I was that crazy college drinker. I had my
Yeah.
days,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it wasn't like a habitual like every weekend or like I might have like I remember vividly when I turned 21, my dumbass friends took me to the local bar. And that's
Mm.
another thing, like I was very strict about drinking because of my age.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I only really experienced it like the tail end of college, like supposed to, I guess, legally. And we went to the bar. All I remember was being dragged out of there. and and I'm getting driven to my dorm and my head is out the window and I'm like, "Eee." And I was down for the count for 2 days, bro.
Oh man.
Finished. I try to
Uh,
tell them that story all the time. Like, and no, thank God. Like, I mean, I've had my drinks, since having
yeah, yeah,
kids and whatnot, and they've never once seen me drunk.
yeah.
I've been drunk, but I've gotten swept under the radar, like, but it hasn't been something where it's been to a point where they're like, yo, what the fuck?
Right.
So,
Yeah, I would love for my son to never have a hangover in his life.
bro.
That would be amazing.
But you know how, I mean, hopefully, right? But like a lot of this stuff, as you're raising kids, like they don't like to learn it the easy way. They like
I
to learn it
know.
the hard way.
I know. I know.
And like us, we'll
Right.
get that hangover, that bad one, and be like, yo, I'm not doing this shit no more. And then here we are the next weekend, like, figure this
Right.
out, baby. So
Oh man. Well, hopefully it's all a good experience for her.
yeah, man. I'm like I said, bro, I'm super pumped. And I think like as we're approaching like this trip to go explore like how to get there from
That's
here.
cool that you guys are doing that. That's a nice plus.
Yeah, I want her to feel comfortable with that and
Right.
not feel like, yo, how do I do this?
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like setting myself up to kind of relive college a little bit through her.
Right.
I already feel it. So it's cool, man. I'm digging it. Anyway, what's up
Yeah.
with you, man?
Not as much as you, man. You got the big news.
I'm on like a milestone piece
Yeah.
right now.
No, we're steady trying to figure out summertime flow
Oh,
as that starts.
yo. So are you doing camp? No, your son's not doing camp anymore, probably, right?
No, I mean we do like it's more like one-off camps. It'd be like 1 or 2 weeks. There'll be like a basketball camp. So we'll do those. We'll kind of bounce around a little bit, but
Yeah.
not that he's got to be occupied every day
So
type scenario.
because we have done like the 6 week camps the last few years and decided this year that we weren't going to do it for a bunch of reasons, but like that puts pressure on us now.
Yeah.
Now we got, I mean, really two kids that we got to really worry about. The oldest one, she's probably going to be working most of the time anyway, so she'll be occupied. But now we got to figure out how to fill that time and balance us working in the summer. Summer's always the most challenging.
Well, it's an interesting, like last summer was the first summer that we didn't have him in some kind of structured scenario, camp, whatever you want to call it, during the summer. And it was like, some of these one-offs, so 1 week on, 1 week off, that kind of thing. But it was a good eye opener for him and for all of us of like, okay, what do you do with
Idle time.
time, right? Like, I think there's something to be said for, he enjoyed having just like, all right, there's nothing to do. I can just chill if I want to, and there's no pressure to not chill.
Yeah.
So you let him do some of that, and then it's like, okay, I'm working, but what else are you gonna do, right? You can have some days where it's chill, and then there's gonna be some days where, what else are you gonna do? What are you gonna read? What are you gonna create? What are you gonna go out and practice? All that kind of stuff. So, I liked it because I don't know, just felt like he had an opportunity to start feeling himself out a little bit with how you can handle time.
How to
Yeah.
manage his time.
Yeah, and at some points like embrace boredom a bit,
That's a good way to think about it. Cause the thing that boils my blood is when I hear them say, I'm bored.
Right.
I'm so bored. And then they don't want they know now not to say it because I'm gonna tell them foul shit.
Right.
I bet, oh, you bored? Come, let's do push-ups.
Right.
Are you bored? Come, let's clean the kitchen. And they don't want to hear none of that. But
Or they want to involve you with doing everything. And it's like, no, you got to figure it out. You got to figure. I can find something for you to do.
Yeah. And that's tough too, right? Because like, my son's always looking for me to help him, not help him, but like engage with him, right? Like,
Right.
he wants to play with dad.
Yeah.
Whether it's like me helping him with basketball or he wants to play video games with me or whatever. And I just don't have the time. And when I'm done with my day of work, I just want to veg out sometimes.
I'm with you. That my hardest one is the video game. Like, I feel bad because it's like, he likes it, right? So it's like that's a connection point of like, I want you to.
Yeah.
And most of the time, like, yeah, because I don't really like playing video games. But
I don't like some of the games he likes to play.
Yeah.
And so I'm just there, like I'm just torturing myself, and I'm like, it's on one side of it, I'm like, but that's part of being a dad. You got.
But yeah, I have to remember, like, you know what? It's not even about what we're doing. It's just that the fact that we're in the same room together and hanging out. So that's the special point.
It's just fucking hard like that. And then you start questioning yourself like, damn, am I being selfish right now? Like, why am I being selfish? And you go down the rabbit hole. But we figure it out. So what we did decide, well, I decided to do, kind of just told my wife we were doing it, is I don't know if my kids are around, so I don't want to speak too loud. But so we decided, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we decided to invest in building a small basketball court in the backyard.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like a half court joint.
A half court. Okay, dope.
Because we have a hoop on the driveway, but the driveway it's a fucking hill.
Yeah.
So it's mad difficult to play. So did all the math and shit and worked out like less than what it costs to send one to camp. We can make that happen in the backyard.
Oh, so nice.
Like,
there you go.
Make it happen. So we'll get value out of that, and I have some plans to like include like the neighborhood a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. So
there's more like kids around and being able to play together and that kind of thing, which elevates everybody's competition level, but also is more fun when it's a bunch of peers. So that was the wiser investment, at least for this summer.
No, that's good. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, bro. Fuck. Yeah, I'm overwhelmed in a good way right now.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, bro. But
all right.
Yeah, it was good to see you, bro.
Same as always.
We'll catch up next week. Everybody, take care. Have a great rest of your week. Peace.
Later.